All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Got something pretty cool for you guys. I managed to pick up two Honda 400EXs for $1,000. 2007 and a 2002 model. The black one's an 07, the red one's the 02. The black one actually runs. I didn't film the troubleshooting process for that. When we bought it, the guy said he couldn't get it to fire, and it ended up just being a grounding issue. The battery was grounded incorrectly, like it wasn't grounded to the frame good. It just wasn't making good contact. And you know, as soon as we kind of ran that down, it started turning over, and we got spark, and it actually runs. We fired it up earlier today, but we got a few parts coming in. It was missing the snorkel off the air box, and it needs a new air cleaner and a few other little things like that, like $150 worth of stuff. Yeah, so we've got that coming in the mail. It'll be here in a few days. And the 02 over there is semi-locked up, or it seems like it is. I think something's going on with the cam chain side of it. It's not wanting to turn too freely through about 10% of the stroke. So we're not sure if it's something going on with the bottom of the crank, or if the transmission chipped a tooth or what. But the cylinder head's off of it. The cylinder actually looks good. The top of the piston really doesn't look bad. We're in the process of checking that out now. As soon as we get it tore down the rest of the way, we'll let you guys know what we found. And thanks for watching. All right, guys, we're back. We just got the bottom half of the 02 taken apart. So the crank's not exactly locked up on it, but there's definitely a flat spot in there. And this right here is why. This appears to be piston skirt. I'm not 100% sure. It's magnetic, but it's got some millings on it, like it's a milled piston. So I'm not 100% sure what kind of piston it would have been. But when we got this thing apart, we pulled, I don't know if you can see that, a JE piston out of here. So what I think happened is, you know, they did a top end on this, obviously, in this niche cylinder here. And I think they had maybe like a heat seizure, or this could be some kind of stroker crank, and the piston skirt smacked to the journal somewhere here, but I don't really see any marring or anything on it to indicate something like that happened. So I think they probably had a heat seizure, and this thing, the piston skirt, just let go. But they didn't pull it apart and clean the bottom. They just redid another top end, and then it probably ran for a few minutes and started cutting out on them. And generally you'll get that when you have a flat spot in your crank. It will turn over, but then it hits that spot while it's under idle, and it'll die. So yeah, I don't know what made them think that was gonna work, you know? Like, I don't see how they didn't wonder where the piston went. You know what I mean? Like when they pulled it out of there, because that would have been my first thoughts. Like, hey, where's the rest of this piston? Like, oh wait, it's in the bottom. See, that's just crunchy, all that crud. There's just, I bet I could get a whole piston out of here. After we clean it, we'll see. We'll compile everything that we pull out of here. I'll try to get it, and we'll run it through some kind of screen and just see, because I'm betting we can get almost the entire piston except for maybe the dome out of there. Also, guys, some updates on the 07. Tracking says the parts are supposed to be here today, so we should have that finished up. Actually, like I said, last night it runs. It just had a wiring issue. The battery wasn't grounded properly, so that's why the guy could never really get it to spark or turn over good, because it was not having good connectivity with the frame. So, and I think he had it bolted up to the wrong spot in there. Like, I do believe that cable is supposed to be run through the left side of the rectifier right there. I think that's the spot for it anyway. But that's where we put it, and the next thing you know, the starter starts firing off like it's supposed to, and we got good spark, and we just hooked everything up, put a little bit of gas in it, and it fired right up. So we just got to put oil in it and put those new parts on that are coming, and we'll be ripping this thing around the yard. I'm a little excited about that, but I'm a little excited about this too, because since we have to rebuild it, I believe we're gonna try to go back with a 465. So we're gonna do a 4 mil stroke on it and a 440 top end kit with something like a 12 or 13 to 1 compression ratio. But we're gonna port that head and everything too. I mean, since we gotta do it, why not? And we picked this up the other day. This clapped out turd right here is a 2008 KFX 450R. And I got something a little bit special planned for this. Obviously, we're gonna clean this frame up and everything. We're gonna pull all this stuff off of here and blast it and get it powder coated. Probably have to do a little bit of fabricating on the frame. Some of the mounts, I don't know if you can see that, some of the mounts, like the radiator mount right there, or one of them, or the fan or something. But it's busted off, so we'll probably just get some aluminum stock or something and either remake that and weld it on there, or try to fill that in and then re-drill it. We'll see when we get there. Right now, we got a lot of prep work and stuff to do to this thing. It's gonna be a minute before we kind of get on that, but I'm gonna start disassembly on it today just to get it out of the floor here and put it in the back room over there. There's another countertop and stuff in there, so we're gonna put the frame on and yeah, get started on that. So at least it's tore down, because I'm actually leaving in May. I'm part-time Air Force. I don't know if I said that in the other video, but I recently did a career change and I'm going to a new tech school for that. So I'm gonna be gone until September. So I'm gonna be gone for a couple months, but it's self-paced, so hopefully I get it done sooner than that. Obviously, I don't want to be there for 5 months, so maybe shooting for 3. If I can squeeze that, I will. So some of this might be on hold for a little while, but we're going to try to get that cleaned up, and obviously we'll do update videos as we make progress on it. But we're going to try to completely restore this thing, and then we're going to build a big bore stroker motor out of this too, and put some kind of tune on it to run MR12 maybe. I'm going to try to get 80 horsepower out of this motor. That's what we're shooting for. And I think it's very doable. I think we could probably get closer to 90. Just depends on how big we want to go with the bore. But if you look at the specs on this engine versus the dirt bike engine for this same year, this thing makes like 42 horsepower and the dirt bike makes almost 56. And the only real difference, the stroke and the bore are the same, but the compression ratios on the two are wildly different. Like this thing only has a 8.9 to 1 compression ratio, and the dirt bike is like 12.9, so almost 13 to 1. So we're gonna bump that up to that, and then we're gonna put a 100mm piston in it. And a 4 mil stroke, I think a 4 mil is the biggest thing we can get in here without trenching the cases. We'll look into that. If I can go bigger, we will. But we're gonna get the head opened up pretty good. We'll probably get a CNC port done on this, and then I'll hand clean up the CNC machining marks and stuff in there. And we'll either do just like a stage 3 hot cams, or we'll see what the budget allows. We might get a custom ground cam for it. I don't know. I mean, I would like as much power out of this thing as I can possibly get while it's still being somewhat reliable. So that's to come. So stay tuned, stay with us. Like I said, we'll get the parts for this thing in today. So hopefully we'll be filming a ride video here soon. Who knows? And then as soon as we get that broke down the rest of the way, we'll figure out what needs to be replaced exactly and what all it's missing. And we'll get that ordered. And if that's not sold by the time we get that finished, we'll do like a side-by-side comparison of the two. So, all right, thanks guys.